Hey folks, another speed paint today, because my good golly gosh, this one was a trip. Many will not know this, but I am a Hetalia fan. Yep, that's me, and by fan I mean that I got into it 6 years ago and don't even follow the show anymore, but I still love the characters, so I still draw them a lot. I can't escape. If you don't know what Hetalia is, it's basically personified countries going through history, and, well, most of the show is nonsensical garbage, but there is some... there are some cool facts, some cool tidbits of information. We're having a good time, we're having fun, it's fine. I entered into an event which brought together writers and artists for a theme around these two specific characters, the theme for which was non-Disney fairy tales, so fairy tales that had not been adapted by Disney. I chose The Buried Moon, which is an English fairy tale by Joseph Jacobs. I believe that's what Wikipedia says. It's a simple story, but it's magical and a little bit creepy, which, I'm into, so, I thought it would be a nice fit. For those of you who don't know the story, bear with me. Basically, in the English Carlands, there are swamps or bogs, and within these bogs live these evil and malicious things, just waiting around for travellers to get lost so they can trap, kill, eat, or do various villainous things to them. The moon's light is the only thing that keeps these monsters at bay during the night, and the moon, hearing of this and being the kind celestial being that she is, comes down to see for herself. So she pops on a cloak to cover up her light, goes down into the bogs, and instantly gets caught by a malicious tree or a snag, because those exist, apparently. So she is trapped, her light is covered, and all these demons are crawling out of the woodwork, but the moon is more worried about this random bloke that she's just seen who's completely lost and probably about to die. She thrashes around, the cloak comes off her head, bam, moonlight. The man is so preoccupied with saving his own stupid ass that he runs away because now he can find his way out of the bogs, and the moon, who was chuffed to bits that she was able to save the man, realises, hang on, I'm still trapped, you stupid bugger. The things of the bog cover up her light again, feeling like kids in a candy shop because, heck guys, this is the moon, and if we kill her we can have free reign of the night again. We should burn her, no. Strangle her, no. Poison her, no. Rip her arms off and slap her with them. They argue about this until the sun's about to rise, and then they realise, oh bloody hell, we've argued about this until the sun's about to rise. Throw a rock on top of her, it'll be fine. So, in a rush, they drown her and shove a rock on top of her so that she can't actually get back out again, so now she's just basically buried alive in this swamp. The people of the nearby village are rightly concerned about the fact that the moon hasn't shown up in the sky for about a week, so they go and see the local wise woman, which every village thankfully has, apparently, and they ask her where the moon is. The wise woman says, why the hell would you be asking me? I have no bloody clue, narrow it down a bit, and then I'll be able to help. So, like any self-respecting English folks who've encountered a sticky wicket, they go to the pub, to complain about how the moon's probably somewhere on Earth, but how the hell are we supposed to find her so we can actually go back to work? As it happens, the guy that the moon saved is in the pub. What a coincidence, and he's like, oh, bugger me senseless, hang on, I think I know where she is. And everyone else goes, bloody Keith, why didn't you say something earlier, bloody Keith, you bellend. So they go back to the wise woman, and obviously they take bloody Keith along with them, and they say, right, so, bloody Keith forgot that he saw the bloody moon in the bloody swamp, and the wise woman says, bloody Keith! Right, here's what you have to do. So she tells them what they have to do in some cryptic mumbo-jumbo, and everyone follows bloody Keith back into the swamp so they can find the moon. They find where she's buried, and, keeping the evil things at bay with what the wise woman told them, lifts the rock off of her, free her, and the moon's like, I am never doing this again, you guys can stay down here, I'm going home. There's a giant flash of light, and when everyone can actually see again, the moon is back in the sky, shining down to make sure that everyone gets home safe. Even bloody Keith. Oh wow, that got a bit out of hand. I apologise. Well, now that you know the entire story of The Buried Moon, let's actually talk about the piece that I drew and how it was very helpful to me, even though I'm not entirely happy with how it came out. I chose to basically redraw the very famous scene from The Buried Moon, which is basically every illustration that I could find online, and that's of the moon being trapped in the snag, falling into the bog, with her cloak having just come off, looking very pretty and helpless as a celestial being would be, I guess. I added the peasant into the piece because it's a romantic style that I was trying to do it in, and it's a romantic style event, so I needed them kind of both to be there. Even though The Buried Moon isn't really a romantic story, I decided to interpret this fairy tale into, like, you know, a Stardust style story. So, you know, the moon comes down, it's saved, and then the peasant has to help the moon get back into the sky. The romance happens along the way, you know, that kind of deal. The first of many challenges was the character design. I mean, this is a two-man pairing. It's gay. And in the original tale, the moon is a woman, with long, beautiful, flowing pale hair and a gorgeous dress, and, you know, so already I was having trouble, because the character I put in her place is known for having short, choppy, unruly, horrid hair. You know, so I smoothed it down the best that I could, and I swapped the moon's dress for a pale tunic and trousers. If I were to do this piece again, or to develop the Stardust-style plot, I would really love for the moon's clothes to have, like, intricate details and patterns and embroidery and stuff, but with my current skills, I am far too lazy and I just left it as it is. Another bump in the road was the fact that I very rarely do clean line art on my drawings. Doing line art digitally is apparently the bane of my existence. You know, for some reason I feel slightly more comfortable doing proper line work with my traditional pieces, but digitally, I hate it, with a burning passion. This meant that the overall piece took much longer than I had originally anticipated, and even though I submitted my piece in, you know, within the time limit before the deadline, I will admit that there was a lot less detail due to my reluctance to actually line anything. The most difficult thing was the tree. And I'll be very honest, I'm actually pretty proud of the tree. Look at that tree. Look at those branches. I was really proud of that. I don't usually draw nature. I was impressed. Shading and colouring was also something that I would love to try again or revisit, as colouring is where I usually feel better about a piece. However, I'm still learning about colour palettes and how to use them to change the atmosphere of a piece, so I'm happy with how it turned out, but I do think that I went a little bit overboard with the luminosity and such. I wanted to be able to get the right tones to this piece, and I really felt that I was lacking in it, so it's something I still want to improve on. I wanted the light source to be the moon himself, so having a solid light source really helped me figure out what I actually needed to be doing for the rest of the piece, even though I was a little bit confused what to do with the moon himself. The really fun part of this whole thing was drawing the dark creatures that infest the bogs. In the story, it's a variety of things, like witches and imps and monsters and malicious spirits, like everything is in this swamp. I wanted the focus of the piece to be, you know, the main characters, so I decided to make the things, all of these faceless humanoid shapes with these unsettling, unnatural limbs, crawling in from the corners, just ready to just engulf the moon so they can kill him. Grr. I've made a decision that this year I will be trying more things in my art and challenging myself, and you know, this is a great practice. I have never really participated in anything like this online before, and working with a deadline was something I haven't done in a while, like a good few years. You know, art-wise. It's something I'd kinda like to revisit in a couple years when I've hopefully learned and improved more. But regardless, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video and my storytelling abilities, pop me a like to let me know. And if you like my art, maybe give me a cheeky little subscribe. I hope you're having a lovely time wherever you are, and stay safe. Ta-ra!